Perfect way for Crystal Palace to start off their game against Everton, continuing their unbeaten run temporarily as winners gave them the lead against Everton. He found a way to beat Pickford, who's been in great form this season. Crystal Palace went into the break leading before late on in the game, Everton equalised through a DIA penalty before Jack Grealish right at the end putting a dagger through all the Crystal Palace fans as he ended their unbeaten run for the season. It was Crystal Palace's first loss of the season, first loss in 19 games, and now there are no teams that are unbeaten. Crystal Palace were the last team that remained unbeaten in the Premier, and Arsenal will be the only team to keep this record in the Premier League era for at least another season. Jordan Pickford today reaching a milestone for Everton, 300 appearances for the club. He's done well for them over the years, saved them a lot of times. He's been good for England as well. Bruno Guimaraes' rocket blasted into the back of the net, put Newcastle 1-0 up in the first half. It was a brilliant goal from him before Newcastle were awarded a penalty, and it was Nick Voldemort, the man who's been informed for Newcastle. The 65 million they spent on him doesn't look like it's going to be wasted, and they may be forgetting about Isaac. They might not have to worry about him moving on to Liverpool, as Nick Voldemort, he's been in great form so far for them. It went top bins as he converted the penalty, beating Matt Sells, and Newcastle comfortably beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. And for Ange Postecoglou, who still has no clue, it is another defeat, no wins for Nottingham Forest. Under him, in 7 games, it is 0 wins and 0 clean sheets. It's not looking good for them. I think chasing away their previous manager was a bad idea, but of course the owner is the one who decided to do that, and Marlon was to be the man to win it for Aston Villa today and get the job done with his brace before later on Ogochukwu, of course on loan, pulled one back for the host. There were 12 minutes to play, but of course it proved to only be a consolation as they didn't grab a second goal and equalize, and Aston Villa did get all 3 points today as they won the game. Wolves denied their first win of the season for the second time in a row late on in the game. They were leading through an own goal from Brighton, and it looked like that was going to do it for them, and they were going to grab their first win of the season before Van Hecke late on equalised for Brighton, and it ended 1-1 in a draw. They will continue to search for their first win of the season after the international break. And Erling Haaland, a man who can't stop scoring at the moment, he's hot commodity right now, and his only goal of the game wins it for Manchester City. It was a fight at the end as Brentford tried to grab a goal and try to grab a point at home at the G-Tech Stadium, but Manchester City proved to hold on with Donnarumma, their new goalkeeper, who almost made a mistake that was going to cost them right at the end, but they did survive and they did win the game. And for Pep Guardiola, it is 250 wins in 349 games for Manchester City in the Premier League, the fastest manager